don't know if everybody. I've been watching this exclusively because I think it's hilarious, but I also think that there's another angle. I want to throw this angle at you guys. I don't know if you guys have been watching Kwame Brown. He has been going off ever since
He's been
Steven
clowning.
Jackson and Matt Barnes brought him up, and tried to play him with a comment with Jenny Buss. And I'm just going to paraphrase it to keep it simple, but she was talking about a trade that involved Kwame Brown when 𝗏𝗏 went to the Lakers. And they were mentioning how many players got traded. Jenny Buss mentioned 𝗏𝗏, and like Matt Barnes tapped Steven Jackson, was like, mentioned Kwame Brown, and he tapped him, was like, no, that's not a player. Don't worry about him. He's not a player. He don't count. So Kwame Brown has been roasting Steven Jackson. He's been roasting Matt Barnes, calling him Becky with the good hair, destroying Stephen A. Smith. Jamel Hill got it. And Charlamagne decided to, because they're from Moncks Corner, South Carolina. So Charlamagne decided to go on the Breakfast Club and start saying, look, y'all leave Kwame Brown alone. This dude's dad was a killer. He got brothers that were in jail for killing people. He got sisters that fight and blah, 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 blah. Like, really putting that man's family history out there for the whole world to see, and like talking about how dysfunctional his family was, and leave that dude alone. He's unstable. You don't know what might happen. Man, Kwame Brown flip. I'm talking about, start talking about Charlamagne's allegations. We all know what those are. Funk Flex destroyed him for like 30 minutes on the radio. And then Charlamagne gave like an apology where, I don't know, it looked like it was scripted. Like somebody just gave him something to read. I don't know if it was sincere. Y'all have to watch it. You be your own judge for that. But I don't know if y'all been following. Like me, I know Lone posted a video for the game on it. It's hilarious, by the way, on Kwame's side, because he's been getting roasted for like 20 years. And he's still the butt of a lot of jokes today. And fan been retired since like 2013. But my question to y'all is, and you can jump in and add to Kwame if you want. When it comes to Charlamagne, the things that the people are bringing up, like Flex and Kwame Brown and stuff like that, has Charlamagne kind of skated around that and still been able to be super influential in hip hop? Do you think he's gotten a pass for some of those things that have gone on with him, and somehow still been able to be relevant in the culture? Because people are dragging him now, and a lot of stuff is coming up, man. That's not a good look for him. And Kwame was talking about, he brought up stuff about how him and MD act on the show, and I'm not gonna get into all the details because I ain't here for that. But y'all know some of the stuff that they do on those shows. But just from a perception standpoint of a film, has he skated by? Because Charlamagne he does some good things in this. A lot of times I catch myself being like, what the hell is this dude doing? I could be wrong, but some of the stuff they was bringing up, I'm like, damn, I forgot about all that. Go ahead, Jay Diff.
I think I don't think he's been getting a pass. There's videos of people chasing Charlamagne down to whoop him. You know what I'm saying? While he's trying to go to work, clown Charlamagne all the time. The thing about it is there's a certain level of trolling, mind you, that he succeeds at and has far succeeded at, which has placed him in the position that he's in now. There's things that don't necessarily bother him. I mean, it just rolls off his back. He's not scared to talk back to you. He's not afraid of whatever joke or jab you got to do. The thing with Kwame Brown is Kwame has been hibernating for the past 20 years and has now decided to start voicing his opinion. And in his opinion and the things that he's talking about is pure comedy, is pure truth, some of it, and it's pretty much all about accountability and him coming at people that that have rubbed him the wrong way for a long time. So I mean, it's warranted, and it's funny to see everybody run and tuck their tail when he got something to say now.
I feel you.
You can't
preaching to the choir.
You can't literally talk to a grown man like that and don't think that eventually he's gonna have a breaking point. No, I mean, he's not exhibiting like signs of he's gonna do something to you type things like that. He's just calling you out on your BS, and he's welcoming anything that comes his way. And I'm not mad at him for it, man.
I'm not neither. I'm not
mad at him at all. And as far as even I also seen back to what's my guys? Who we talking about? Charlamagne.
Charlamagne. You talking about Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson?
No, back to Charlamagne. Not Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson. I mean, everybody's tucking their tail, but back to Charlamagne. There's allegations that are coming up, which he's already taken care of and handled. And this is the first time that they've been in the limelight or whatnot. It comes down to a lot of things, or witch hunts. When somebody thinks they found something out that wasn't public knowledge, or everybody doesn't know, they think they got something and they want to pull some strings and try to bury somebody. But I don't think that's happening with Charlamagne, and for him to give himself the donkey of the day with the Kwame situation. This ain't the first time he gave himself donkey of the day either. You know what I'm saying? So it's accountability at the end of the day. And that's what Kwame Brown is pretty much calling everybody out on, and he took it on the chin and is trying to roll with it. So I ain't mad at him.
He took it on the chin for a long, y'all remember, well, if you're a sports fan, you watch the league, you remember when he was drafted. He been getting dragged ever since he was drafted. I'm talking about dragged.
Yeah.
For like 20 years.
Yeah, ever since Stephen A. been one of the main people clowning him openly.
I think Kwame even said something about that. He's like, Stephen, did you even have a job before I was around?
Bruh. He is, and I'm talking about, he said one of his homies put him on game and was like, look, you can't cuss until after the 2-minute mark or something like that. Cause he the first word out of his mouth is like MF. You know what I mean? Like he just come out the gate cursing. So I'm not mad at dude for standing up for himself, especially being the butt of the jokes for these many years. And I mean, if it brings up the accountability, then I guess that it's out there now. And some of these people starting to be a little uncomfortable with the things that he's saying, but boy, it wasn't bothering nobody, man. Y'all should have left that dude alone, the way I see it. Jay Moore, what you
leave him alone, and his mama's cooking.
Yeah,
is the strength, is what strengthens him.
I almost want to get one of them t-shirts low key because I like
the design is trash though. That design is so trash.
It is. It's better than the old boy album cover though.
Capadonna.
Yeah. Go ahead, Jay Moore. I ain't mean
Well, this is the thing, and I think we've all in a certain way been entertained by Kwame Brown and the things he's had to say about public figures, but he's getting a lot of like love or whatever, but like the way the media landscape is and just the way the internet works, it's going to come to a point where, okay, Kwame, if this is your content,
change it up.
We're gonna get tired. We're gonna get tired of it. You're gonna run out of people to talk about. Because even with what he had to say about Jamel, like it's just only reason he clapped back at Jamel is because he had never seen Game of Thrones. He didn't realize that, woke up and chose violence today was, that's just part of the culture,
Well, he a Southern Geechee.
And I think part of it is he doesn't realize it. Part of it, and this is where I hope somebody who's a little bit older, a little bit more savvy about media, we enjoy hearing him clown these other people, but it's going to get to a point where we're not laughing with Kwame, we're laughing at him. And, at a certain point, that's going to bother him a lot too. And I always worry about people in their mental health spaces. I think Kwame is good. He's one of them people from, what some people like to call the low country. And as long as he's got his plot of land and he saved his money and didn't spend it on nothing crazy,
which I don't think he did.
Say he's a scrub, but he's a scrub that eked out millions of dollars after 12 years in the NBA. So he's figured something out that a lot of other people have not.
He also wasn't no dummy though. People leave that out.
Yeah, I agree.
I would never even put that on him, but I just want because we still into whatever Kwame Brown's got to say about people, because like he snapped on Roy Hibbert today. I was like, what did Roy do? Roy, and I'm like,
Roy Hibbert said, you didn't see that?
I mean, I saw it, but I was like, fam, like, what juice do you think you're going to get by talking about Roy Hibbert?
What did Roy Hibbert say? Clifford the
you know,
Big
it was something about how he didn't sign an autograph or something. And I'm like, all right, man. Like now, okay, you've said what you had to say about Stephen A. You said what you had to say about the cats on All the Smoke and whatever you said about Jamel Hill. And now you reaching to clap back at Roy Hibbert. And like, you know, and that may be just
years worth of anguish.
He's fan in me, but I'm like, like I said, it's gonna. I don't want it to be something to where, because this happens to a lot of people, to where like they get the light and all of a sudden they run out of actual content, and we stop laughing with them and we're laughing at them. And I hope
he transitions.
Kwame Brown. You know, I hope he transition. But right now, it just seems like he's just going to be that dude who gets on and you know. Because when Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson was like, well, you come on a platform and we could talk it out or whatever, and he's still leveling, you know, country diss tunes at the.
You gotta give him credit for that though, because they didn't want to hear from him until he started clowning them.
Nope. I respect Kwame for that.
I respect that, but you know, you got to understand, like the way this content game moves. You know, in 2 weeks, we're going to be like, all right, Kwame Brown, like that was cool 2 weeks ago, but we're done with you now. Now you're just telling stories we don't care about.
One thing,
and like, if he's going to do something, he needs to, like, now is the time for you to go on All the Smoke and figure out how you're going to, if you really want to be that person in this content creation, or you're just man yelling at cloud. And
I don't think he cares.
Hey, this is a job.
He doesn't care. He doesn't
care. For my designer friends out there, MSG317, you might want to reach out to Kwame Brown and design him a nice couple t-shirts.
He needs you, bro.
Like you laced us with, because he definitely needs help in that realm. He's a millionaire, and I think he might have designed that shit himself.
And paint.
So he's gonna need some help.
Shout out to that demerit. But yeah, man, I think with Kwame, I think he has he talks about, like, when people super chat him on YouTube, you know, when somebody just sends like some money over or something, he always talks about, he takes that money and puts it towards ordering like shoes for underprivileged kids and stuff like that. So he's really like he's really trying to. He also has used the platform to talk about how they're buying property down there to help felons be able to become, like, you know, homeowners, or that they can rent and stuff like that. So I hope he starts to sneak more stuff like that in while he has everybody's attention, because you know, him saying boy 150 times and cussing every 3 words, like, you know what I'm saying?
I've been a hell of an N-word for a long time.
Yeah, like at some point that ain't gonna be it. So to Jay Moore's point, like, we're gonna have to pivot now and let's get back into the community stuff you're doing, because it's working now, but that's eventually gonna wear off. Like, I'm cool on, on that.
And the thing is with Charlamagne, like, it just showed what we had this conversation a couple weeks ago about cancel culture. Yeah. And like, the thing is, I'm shout out to Stakes is High podcast. Like, I got to go on there a couple weeks ago, and I talked about how there's only a few actual media companies left in the world, maybe 5, 6, maybe 7. And, you know, once you're no longer an earner for them, then that's when you might get canceled. Charlamagne the God is an earner.
He is a earner.
You know, just like if you want to talk about it in Mob, if you want to talk about the way the Mob talks about, oh, that guy's a good earner. Charlamagne is an earner. And so, you know what? They're going to figure out a way to protect him. And like every 2 or 3 years, they try to pull these same allegations out against Charlamagne. And you know what? Every 2-3 years, he re-ups on his contract.
Yeah, he literally just signed a new contract. And
a big one, a big contract.
And he's got an honorary
book in print. He's got his book in print. He's got his nationally syndicated show. He's got TV shows popping off. Look, Charlamagne is a good earner, and the media families aren't going to let anything happen to him. So, like, it might be fun to you to say crazy stuff about Charlamagne, and you might be able to get some clout, but you're not going to be able to take him down. There's no canceling somebody who's an actual earner in this business.
I mean, Brown is saying he knows. He that's not the way he said it, but he's like, he knows that he can't touch him. He knows that, but for some reason, you know, he's still going. He's still doing what he do. So I don't know, man. He's
getting his rocks off, man. He's getting his rocks off. It's been a long time. When have y'all ever heard from Kwame Brown? up until
I've never heard him talk this long in my life.
I've never heard him talk.
You know
I've never
what?
heard
You
him
know
make
what's crazy? To me, he sounds like one of Karl Malone's illegitimate children.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because if you think about how Karl Malone talks and how Kwame talks the same way Karl Malone
Yes,
does,
sir.
but
Yes,
just
sir.
with a more urban black twang to it.
Yep.
Vernacular.
It's not as rural
see you,
South. It's not as rural as the Mailman, but it's a little more deep South. But it's just got the same dialect to it, though.
I'm so glad you said that, man. I had this same conversation with my cousin. I said, "Fam, this is like 2021 Karl Malone, just with a little more, as Lone said, a little more urban." Karl
Vernacular.
Malone, man. Yeah, like he is definitely cut from that cloth. That boy, that's a country boy right there, man. He remind me of some people in my family.
He Geechee. Get it right.
Bruh. Oh, sorry. Yeah, that's what he said. Geechee. I apologize. Because I sure don't want no smoke.
The day of the Geechee is over. The day of the Geechee is over. I'm sorry. Y'all don't. Hey, shout! If you've ever seen the movie The Soldier Story, y'all know what I'm talking about.
Come on now. Hey, when Martin said that on that one episode, I was cracking up.
Yeah, when he was short, yeah.
If you know, you know. We'll just say that.
If you know, you know. Hey, that boy care about his tractor at the end of the day.
He was
I
like,
may want to make sure his tractor good, his guns is good, and he got time to go hunting and fishing at the end of the day.
he was like, I'm 7 foot. What you think I'm supposed to be driving, boy? Hey,
Boy,
Like we
my
think
dude,
of Kwame
man.
though, like we think of him though, like he doesn't need any of this stuff, man. Like he's a retired NBA player. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
even as somebody that wasn't earning like what LeBron James made, he's still an NBA
He's
player
straight.
that played for 12 years.
Man.
Like,
Kwame
he's
Brown's
good,
straight.
man.
He
And
is
he's living
not
in the
broke.
South. He's living
And
in the
listen,
South too.
he's
What people
straight.
forget at the end, what people forget is once you've made it to the point where you're an NBA earner, had an NBA career past 5 years,
Yeah.
ain't nothing nobody can really tell you. If you made it to the NBA, I mean, you automatically you're a winner. You won.
I agree with
A
that.
lot of people, that's what you aspire to do. You aspire to
agree.
be in the league. This
If you
man,
go in that first
this
round,
man went.
you get
He was
3 years
drafted right out of high
automatic.
school into the
First.
league.
Yep.
First, 17 years old. That's winning.
Yeah, fam winning. Like, unless you, and I ain't trying to diss, I'm just going off the facts. Unless you like Antoine Walker, because Antoine Walker ran through 100 mil. He says it. He'll tell you. You know what I'm saying?
Bad.
Like Kwame Brown
Damn
is
bad.
straight though. He earned about 65, 70 mil, and he talks about all of his investments and stuff like that. So, hey, leave that man alone, boy.
He won, boy.
It's all right. We fool with
He
Kwame.
out there fit them chicks, boy.
He said, I'm 7 foot. I'm supposed to be driving in a truck. Boy.
He said, you want a box? Why would I box?
Why would I box you, boy? All right, man.
Why would I hold time?
Don't do that, man.
The whole time.
You gonna get Jay Moore started, man. Don't do that.
If you've enjoyed this segment of the New Old Heads podcast, make sure to join our live show every Tuesday from 9 to 11 p.m. Eastern on twitch.tv/newoldheads. And we invite you to join our hip hop community on Discord. Access it by going to newoldheads.com/community for talks on hip hop, sports, music, news, and everything else.